Welcome to our channel, where we update the most exciting and dramatic episodes from popular TV series, unexpected twists, shocking secrets revealed and unpredictable tangled relationships. This week, viewers will be able to watch a shocking episode in the next series of Beyond the Gates, when the truth about June's identity is suddenly revealed, turning everything she once believed in upside down. The following story not only makes viewers breathless but also takes them through many complex emotions, from anger, pain to conflict and forgiveness. Let's dive into a tragic but equally touching and intense development about the journey to find the truth of a child who was stolen from her own past. June never imagined that just one fateful afternoon would be enough to destroy all the beliefs she had built throughout her life. Since childhood, she grew up without the love and protection of her mother, the woman she once believed was the only pillar of her life. All the stories her mother told about a painful past, a cruel man who betrayed and abandoned both mother and daughter before they were born, were deeply ingrained in her subconscious, becoming a fire that nurtured silent hatred for many years. That man, according to her mother, was the reason why she had to flee her hometown, had to live quietly, alone, and had to trade everything to protect her daughter from a cold and indifferent family. That is the reason why in June's eyes, the name Bill is always associated with the image of a cruel, heartless person, a stranger who did not deserve to be in any chapter of her life. But everything changed on that fateful day, the day she accidentally found an old handwritten letter carefully hidden in a secret drawer, with her mother's shaky handwriting, as if written in her last panic before leaving this world. The content of the letter not only made her heart ache but also collapsed everything she had believed to be true. In the letter, her mother confessed that Bill had never known June existed, that she had left on her own and kept everything a secret because of fear, because of pride, because of a wound that had never healed. She wrote that Bill was not the traitor she had told her, but a man who had loved her passionately, but was forbidden by her family and pushed out of her life by her own desperate way. She regretted, and that letter was a belated confession, a plea for forgiveness, not only from Bill but also from June herself, the daughter who had been raised in resentment and lies. When she reached the last line, June's hands trembled, her heart felt like it was being squeezed by 1,000 invisible needles. Part of her didn't want to believe what she was reading. But the evidence was there, details of places, dates, even an old, faded photograph of Bill and her mother when they were young, in a sweet, forgotten moment. She couldn't deny the truth that was unfolding before her eyes. Bill, the man she had despised, the man she had never given herself the chance to meet, was now her biological father. The man she had become bound to by an undeniable bond of blood. Her mind was in turmoil, as if she were drifting in a nightmare that had no way out. Her emotions collided like a violent storm. Confusion, anger, pain, and loss. She felt betrayed, not by Bill, but by the mother who raised her and taught her to believe in a distorted, hateful world. June did not know what to do next. She quietly watched Bill from afar, not revealing her identity. Every step he took, every gesture, every look, she remembered every detail. She discovered that he was a successful, calm man. But in his eyes there was still a hidden sadness that she could not explain. Perhaps he had felt lost, had wondered what had gone wrong, had been tormented by not understanding why the person he loved had disappeared without a word of goodbye. June painfully realized that the father she had hated for so many years was not at fault. And it was her blind hatred that had caused her to miss out on so many years of living in the arms of a loving father. But the truth, even when exposed, could not easily heal the deep wounds. June still couldn't accept Bill right away. There was still a fear inside her, the fear that if she faced him, if she told him everything, she would have to give up the image of her mother that she had worshipped all her life. She would have to face herself, the years of living in mistakes that she didn't know about. The sleepless nights, the times standing in front of Bill's house and then turning away, the text messages written and then deleted, all of it was a series of tormenting days that had no end. Until one day, chance forced her to face fate. A conference she attended invited Bill to be a speaker by chance. The two met in the large auditorium, their eyes meeting for a moment of hesitation. Bill didn't know who she was, but his eyes lingered on her face longer than the others, as if there was something familiar, as if he sensed an invisible thread connecting them. June tried to stay calm, but her whole body was shaking. Her heart was pounding, and her mind was screaming, "Tell me." But she remained silent. And he remained silent, carrying a question mark in his gaze that could only be deciphered later. From that moment on, June's life was no longer the same. She began to seriously consider whether to reveal her identity or not. She reached out to her mother's old acquaintances, following every lead to make sure the letter wasn't a final lie. Each answer she received led to a single conclusion: Bill was her biological father. The truth was undeniable, but her decision was still ambiguous between two fragile lines: revenge or forgiveness. Some days she imagined herself appearing before Bill, cursing him for the years she had lived without a father, even though he had never known she existed. Other days, she imagined herself hugging him and crying, like a lost child rediscovered in familiar arms. Both scenarios terrified her. In the end, the choice came not from a rational decision, but from an unexpected event. Bill was suddenly hospitalized after a massive heart attack. The news hit June like a blow to the chest. She immediately went to the hospital, standing outside the emergency room with a broken heart. Memories of her mother, of the letter, of Bill's eyes that day appeared one after another, like a slow-motion movie. She couldn't let him go without knowing the truth, without having the chance to call her daughter. And at that moment, she knew she couldn't run away forever. If you want to continue following the unexpected, emotional and extremely dramatic plot twists like the story of June and Bill, don't forget to follow and subscribe to our channel today. We will continue to bring you touching stories, buried secrets and tearful reunions, where all the truths will one day be revealed.